Our next project that I could provide an update on is Parables of the Set Apart Deception, which is my first to market video game, meaning that I've done a lot of like just one level games, concept stuff, Udemy courses that I turn into like full fledged levels as we are currently doing with our Christian top down shooter. I just like saying that a lot. With our Christian top down shooter for inspired by Parables of the Remnant issue 4. Just want to say shout out to Bill again for allowing me to use his IP in those kind of ways. We are getting close to the end of that project. Spun up the live stream on Sunday to do some development work, and we just had a awesome conversation in there. And I didn't do any kind of development stuff. Just had a really cool conversation with Jaden and Scott Stinker and Realistic Christian Gamer that spiraled from a just I think Realistic Christian Gamer dropped Proverbs 5 verse 3 on commit your works to the Lord and he will establish your plans and was the meaning of that. And it just spiraled into a really awesome conversation and I didn't know development work. But we are close to finishing that off. We're doing the last section of it, and then that would be bagged and tagged and done. The Parables of the Set Apart Deception is going to be my first game that I am going to be placing on online storefronts, mainly the Steam store and the Epic Game Store, which means that it won't be coming to console because I currently don't have the expertise. Maybe by the time I actually finish the game, which I am aiming to finish everything by August next year and have it released by the holiday season of next year, 2025. But I currently don't have the expertise to be able to get it ported onto console. Who knows? Maybe within God's will and plan, by time the game come out, I will be announcing it that it's going to Xbox and PlayStation. But currently, in developing it, I am mainly developing it for PC only using Unreal Engine. Well, currently starting up the base code of the game, which I do in another Udemy course on a action RPG combat system. That would be the base code of the game that I will then build upon for the different spiritual gifts within Parables of a Set Apart Deception. We have all the concept art for it done, at least for the 3 main bosses who you would be fighting throughout the game, which will be the Angel of Light, the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, and the Roaring Lion. And Justin Fernandez has done an amazing job with the concept art for all 3 of these bosses. I love it. I mean, we did go back and forth just to make sure it fits into like what my 30-page document for each of them described them to look like, at least the head idea that I had, and he knocked it out of the park, especially for the wolf in a sheep's clothing. This concept really hit the mark. I love it a lot. In order, I like the wolves in sheep clothing the best, then the Angel of Light, then the Roaring Lion. But throughout Parables of the Set Apart Deception, it's the theme of the game, which I like. So Parables of the Set Apart is like an anthology-based idea that I have. It's multimedia anthology. So we'll have comic books that are within Parables of the Set Apart Deception, but then you'll have like the games that I'm making that would be named the Parables of the Set Apart. And Parables of the Set Apart Deception is the first one where the main theme is about overcoming deception. And for the enemies, I am using all 3 of the enemies are based off of scriptures that personify the devil when he is spreading deception. So your wolves in sheep clothing, your Angel of Light, and your Roaring Lion seeking whom he may devour. So those are the 3 bosses for the game. Just have to get around to knowing how to code a wolf that's dressed like a sheep that would jump and lunge at the player. And of course, those are the enemies. But of course, we have to have the main character, the Set Apart one, and Justin nailed the concept that was first done by Joshua Whittaker. We did a complete revamp and rework of what Joshua Whittaker did a long time ago. Well, a long time ago was last year, December-ish. Joshua Whittaker was watching one of the explanations videos where we were breaking down one of the Remnant comics, and part of it I was saying it would be really cool to have a character named this is a part one run alongside the Remnant, and he just took my description and made a character, made it into a kind of character that he was suggesting I could use as a just as a channel mascot. And from that was how the first iteration of Parables of the Set Apart Deception started to come together. Joshua was on board to do the initial concept art, but just timing and scheduling and other plans, he is no longer a part of the project. But Joshua, if you are watching this podcast, dude, as I say, from back then to now, I greatly appreciate everything that you have done for it from the get-go. But now Justin is the main concept artist for it, and he has been doing a amazing job. I love the concept that he has. What he has done with Set Apart 1, just like realizing the full concept, and him fighting some enemies. So yeah, it has been awesome. As you see in the background, just some rough gameplay. The first prototype of the game that I made, just conceptualizing my idea for the combat system. Currently it's called the Faithful System. I want to change that name, but I don't really like the name. It's just the only name that has come to my mind currently, if anyone has any suggestions. But it's currently called the Faithful Combat System, and with it, within it, your abilities and stuff it's mainly garnered on the Shield of Faith, so blocking and all those things. And when your resource bar, after like blocking enough attacks or whatnot, your resource bar will reach a certain point where you go into what I am calling Faithful State. For now, I don't really like the name all that much, but when you go into that state, you get access to your spiritual gifts. Currently, the only two coded are a charge and a shield throw. But as following the same concept of intercession, of turning certain metaphors and biblical events into actual like superhero style abilities, I aim to have an option where player can equip 3 of 6, so you can do any combination of 6 gifts. And once you're in the faithful state, you'll know because your body will glow up. You're like certain aspects of the armor will glow, and your shield and your sword will glow. And once you're in there, you take less damage, you do more damage, and you have your, as I say, spiritual gifts. So that is the general concept of Parables of the Set Apart Deception. It has been coming along. Concept art I used to see is amazing, and I have been continuing to piece together the code for the game, aiming for a, as I say, holidays 2025 release date, with having the full game done by August, so that between that window is just polishing, and well, yeah, that's a goal. So that's it for Parables of the Set Apart Deception. The first 2 things that would, of course, would be going up on Patreon for free is actually the current version 0.01 of Parables of the Set Apart Deception, which you are seeing in the background. That was, well, should be the background for a while now. That is going to be, that build is packaged out of Unreal. It is Windows only, so for the Mac people, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do the make a Mac build of the game because I don't have a Mac, so can't really code it. Well, I don't know how to do it currently. I would look into seeing how to do it, but it is you could download it and run the first playtest build of it. It would be available for download over on Patreon.